Actually, he says, Tathapi kirtayami yanga yadamatim yadashrutam kirtim karum swam kartum gira anyapidasatim. He was saying, let my speech be faithful and give the information of my Acharya Varga. Let my words that come out of me bear the essence of what I have received with my realization. If I do not do that, I am not chaste in my speech. That's the sloka that's coming to my mind. Because knowing how limited I am, and since the service is given to serve Harinam in this capacity, I can only pray that. Because our acharyas, they poured out everything, whatever Gauranga has given to us. And since I'm very much limited, I am trying to place everything that acharyas have given to us. You will see the slides today, and they will come from the book, The Wholesome Japa. So you will hear what the acharyas have to say about this japa. And I'm just trying to bridge their words with whatever understanding and realization that I was given by our glorious Gurujana. So this is what is happening. So these sessions are happening primarily for my purification and for my reinforcement. And if you all are getting some benefit out of this, please consider that as the mercy from the holy name and acharyas for your sincere prayers to serve Harinam well. That is all I can say. So please consider this as the mercy, as a reciprocation from the holy name and the acharyas to you, if any of this information is helpful to you. So on that note, we will recap what we have done so far. So yeah, we are sadhakas and we want to do our bhajan properly. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta has said that the holy name is such a unique anga that when somebody is chanting at the stage of some kirtana, then their whole self is being offered in japa. The whole self, the mind, the heart, which is followed by just the body and its symptoms. When that whole self is being with the lordships in the Harinam, that is some kirtana. And if that is happening to us, then there is no need of any other angas of bhakti. That is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta has said. So that itself says the potential and possibility of what japa can give us, since Harinam is Krishna himself. So since japa is so crucial and so important, we started talking about what we can do outside the japa. So trying to do the bhakti to our best, at least to the mode of goodness outside the japa, that is 22 hours of bhakti, can help the japa inside the japa. And after that, we talked about, okay, now inside the japa, what can I do to do my japa better? Then we came up with this, I will show you this one. So that is grounding. Grounding is Krishnizing everything and removing the distractions. Physically and mentally also, not going through any checklist and not hearing anything else other than the japa. So this grounding or Krishnizing is based on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura's instruction, and we'll go through that very soon. I'll show you where it is. So after that, grounding, we have talked about, okay, Now, what can we do to bring our heart into the holy name? Grounding can bring us to the present moment a little bit. And next is bringing our mind to the holy name and heart into the holy name. On that note, we were talking about Sri Sikshashtakam, how the guidance comes from Sri Sikshashtakam. And then we talked about the possibility of what holy name can do in the words of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that it can uplift us from the miseries that we are in. Yes, agreed, admitted that we are fallen. Yes, we are drowning in ignorance and passion. Yes, I don't have taste. Yes, I am committing only aparadhas. Yes, this is my condition. I acknowledge it. But the holy name is so powerful that it can lift me up, pick me up from this position, purify me, and place me in the spiritual realm. Like the sun rays. Sun rays are so powerful when the mid-noon sun shines so bright. Even the dirty water, it just gets disinfected. So that's the power of the sun. No matter how dirty the water is, it just gets disinfected, it get evaporated. If that is the power of the sun, what to speak of Krishna sun in the holy name? So our hope is there. Yes, we are fallen, no doubt, but the hope is huge because holy name is not only powerful, but very merciful. Yeah. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has beautifully sung the potency of holy name, of how it can pick us up from the modes and places in the spiritual realm. After that, we talked about the first door of Sri Sikshashtakam, that is Nam Namakari Bahudaneja Sarva Shakti. And so we were introspecting to see why we don't have taste, as guided by Gauranga. Why is na anuraga? Why is there no anuraga? Why is there no attraction to the holy name that I'm chanting? What is not going right? The answer to that is we are committing aparadhas, knowingly or unknowingly. That's when we started discussing about what are those aparadhas according to Padma Purana. And yesterday we talked about those aparadhas, tried to understand based on tattva. Tattva are fundamental philosophical truths that would not change. For our bhava to stand steadily for a very long time and get deep rooted, we should understand the tattva behind it. Otherwise, our emotions can be only superficial and only temporary. But if those emotions are built on the tattva, understanding of the philosophy, then they will stay steady for a long period of time. And they get ingrained, both the tattva and the bhava, they get ingrained. So that's why we discussed about the aparadhas yesterday on the basis of tattva. Today, what we want to do is, please understand these 10 aparadhas. And amongst these 10, as we discussed yesterday, when we totally understand what Bhagavad Tattva means, how potent it is, and Guru Tattva, how qualifying it is for us, though we have no qualification at all. That's why Nityananda Ram is glorified so much. We have zero qualification like Jagai Madai. But even then, we are given qualification through Nitai, through Sri Guru. So that is our qualification. That is our hope at all times. And that is why Srila Narottam Das Thakur sings like that, Sada, always. And I wanted to mention one thing in regards to this topic. As much as we can try to serve holy name, there is always a possibility that we are committing aparadhas. It is very much possible. We are trying to know what the aparadhas are. We will do our best not to commit those aparadhas during the japa. We want to first understand what those aparadhas are, so we may not commit them. And that doesn't limit only during japa. Understanding those aparadhas means our software inside, we are starting to deviral it, antiviral it. We are starting to change inside our perspective, our understanding, our orientation, everything. That's what it means, understanding the aparadhas and implementing means. Our faith towards the holy name changes. Our perspective towards the holy name changes. Our faith and the weight that we give to Sri Guru, that changes. And our dependence on the holy name gets more as we try to understand and avoid the aparadhas. So all these things, the changes will start to happen even when we are understanding what those aparadhas are. And when we start to meditate on them and try to implement it, then the japa goes like, when the blocks are removed, the river flows. With the bridge, the dam, when the doors are open wide, the whole river flows like anything. So when the aparadhas are removed, the holy name flows like that. When the holy name flows like that, it is powerful. However dirty we are, however fallen we are, it cleanses us. That is the Bhagavad Tattva. That is the Nama Tattva. That is where our hope is. So, so that is the significance of understanding, really understanding what these aparadhas mean, and meditate on how not to do it, and come up with our own way of not committing those aparadhas, not only during japa, but having that kind of japa facilitating mood outside the japa also. So not commit those aparadhas during the japa and not commit it outside the japa too, but at least during the japa to start with. So this is really important. And as I said, when that starts happening, the first door of Sri Sikshashtakam and second door of Trinadapi, they open pretty fast. You will see the discussion also will go on pretty fast now. And that's why we want to focus more on consolidating our understanding about these 10 aparadhas. The 11th one is inattention. Inattention is because we don't know the tattva. We are not properly trying to implement something to avoid the 10 aparadhas. And that's why we are inattentive. So we will understand those 10 aparadhas well. And as I posted in the WhatsApp group, please pay attention as we go through each aparadha, what it means. And then see what your thought is, what your feeling is, and quickly jot down a word or two in your japa journal. Because these sessions will be over soon. The recording will be there. You can play them. But what strikes your heart? What touches your heart? What brings that favorable mood to Harinam is your own personal thing. So please try to jot it down. And these steps of japa, aligning and avoiding the aparadhas and reading the Sikshashtakam and starting the japa, all this may sound like, that is going to take so much time, but not necessarily. When we understand and contemplate on this and get the essence out of it, it just happens in moments. And you're quickly there with the japa. And the japa just easily flows. Okay. Now, On that note, we'll go to those 10 aparadhas and try to understand them. I am not sure if you are able to see this. I will share this one, please. This is from the Wholesome Japa book. Wholesome Japa actually means that is Samkirtana, because wholesome in the sense we are chanting with our whole self. Whole self, we are just flowing behind the holy name, heart in the holy name. That's what wholesome japa means. Okay. Yes, you are able to see it. Now, please welcome. Let's hear from the acharyas. I gave this information to you, just a roadmap, so you know what we are doing, where we are now and where we are heading and what to expect. So whatever I have said right now is based on whatever, the Acharya Vakya is and the essence of what is given in this book. So we have talked about grounding, right? Just wanted to mention, I said I'll give you the reference. So grounding is not something that we came up from with our, from our mental speculation and mind. Just to relate to ourselves, we gave that word grounding. But this is based on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura's quote. He says, Jiva in Kali Yuga must become free from deceit, enroll himself as Lord Krishna's family of devotees, and continuously chant holy name. And in one word, if we have to say, this is Krishna Samsara. Seeing ourselves as one of the member in Krishna Samsara, not making Krishna just stand somewhere in the corner of our mind and just make him wait for our thought to go there. That is Maya Samsara, if we are doing that. But if we are seeing ourselves just a part of this Krishna Samsara, then that is grounding. That's what we mean, Krishnizing everything. Yeah. So that came from this quote, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura's. And this is based on what? Shastra. Because Krishna is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. He is the enjoyer. And he is the proprietor, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And he's sitting as a dear friend in our heart. So Hridam Sarva Bhutana. And one who knows this is very peaceful. Shantim Rachati. Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachati. So in this book, everything that is said is based on the Shastra and Acharya's quote. This is what we want to depend on. Sadhu, which is Acharya, and Shastra. Whatever Shastra is saying, and Sadhu is explaining, we want to walk in those footsteps very safely because it's their words. Okay, so that's about grounding. And here in this book, the prayers are included. These are generic prayers, but if there is any prayer that you would like to come up on your own to invoke that mood, you may please do so as long as it is aligning with the Shastra and the Acharya Vakya. So here, this is, even before we start the japa, the grounding prayer can be this. This is Krishnizing everything. Everything around belongs to you. They are not mine, but yours. These are based on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura's words that everything is paraphernalia for Krishna's worship. So this prayer is based on those words of Acharya. And here, this prayer says that I am holding these beads because of the mercy and instruction of my Sri Guru. So this prayer is based on Guru Tattva. We don't have a qualification. We don't have the right mood. We don't have the taste, nothing. But still, I am so grateful that this japa is given to me. So with that mood, we are acknowledging the Guru Tattva. And that's why the prayers are what they are, to follow the Acharya Vakya and to include the Tattvas. That's about grounding. Okay. That's before the japa. We have Krishnized everything, started japa. And during the japa, the mind is going here and there. Why? Because of the aparadhas. And now we want to solidify our understanding about the aparadhas. We will get to that soon, but please note that we are in this stage now. This is the guidance given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura of how to chant japa, how to do Harinam. Because whatever he has sung in his bhajan there, in Harinama Mahatmya, Harinam has the potency to pick us up from the modes and place us in the transcendental realm. How can that happen? When we follow this guidance from the Acharya. Very first thing, we have to be introspective and first discard all the 10 offenses. To discard them, we have to understand what they are, right? And that's what we are trying to do. Simply meditate on holy name and try to chant constantly. This is the first step. Before thinking that we are seeing form, pastimes, anything, etc., we have to understand we are in the first step. Yeah. And distinctly pronounce the holy name and meditate upon the transcendental sound vibration. This is why Srila Prabhupada says, chant clearly. These two are very important in the beginning. Only when this is happening, then we know that we are present in the moment with the Harinam. So when we are with the Harinam in the moment, that is chanting in mode of goodness. At least that should be there. Goodness should be the platform. If chanting is going on passion, the mind is jumping here and there, then we are not even in the first and second step. Yeah. So this is for our understanding. Because we tend to think, oh, I am thinking this of Krishna, that of Krishna, and I'm chanting. Maybe this is right. To make our understanding, to set our understanding right, the guidelines are given here. Not to think about this or that, but to be with the holy name, to be in the moment with the holy name, chanting clearly, without aparadhas, is our first step. And only then the doors of the Sri Sikshashtakam opens. At least it should be in the mode of goodness here. Okay. But the power of understanding these offenses and trying to eliminate them, that itself has the power to propel us through these first and second stages. So that's a big relief for us. It's not that we are trying hard to do this. When we are trying to understand and do our best, then naturally we will be taken forward. So then we will come to this third stage where the japa is just flowing. The mind is not really bothering us much. It may be going a little bit here and there, but it is still not really bothering us much. So that is the third stage, when one's chanting is clear, steady, and blissful. This is try and meditate in Shyamasundara form of the Lord. You will see the next one here. With chanting beads in hand, one's chanting and meditation should seek out the transcendental form of the holy name. This actually happens very naturally. When we come to this steady, peaceful japa, when we are with the holy name in the moment, then the transition happens very naturally. And if mind is doing something else, then it would just go here and there. Then we know it is the mind's trick. But if the japa is going on peacefully, this is what happens in the next stage. By this time, all the aparadhas are not very significant, and we are sincerely chanting. So that is something to remember. As when we try our best to see that those aparadhas are not happening, which means we are with the holy name very attentively and prayerfully and paying attention, yeah, that itself can avoid so many aparadhas. And that will naturally bring us to this peaceful chanting stage. Okay. So this part, this is the progression. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. But to actually get here, let's look into this first step of what are those aparadhas and how we can avoid them. See, these are the 10 offenses of holy name and positive affirmations to avoid them. And as I mentioned, please get ready, dear devotees. Now this is your personal time. As you hear, please see what touches your heart. With each aparadha, please see where it was not going right and quickly jot down of how you can do it right. And this is how our japa can get better. We are introspecting and we want to make some change, active change. And then the japa gets better. Okay. So the first aparadha and the third aparadha, they are more to do with the sadhus. We will come to that soon. And as we were discussing on the tattva, this is the second aparadha is about underestimating, not knowing, estimating the Bhagavad Tattva. So let's hear what Acharyas are saying, what Shastra is saying, what Acharyas are saying. Then see how you feel, what you should do, what we should do for us. So Krishna in the holy name, in the Harinam, is acknowledged properly, is served properly. And that is what it means, not doing an aparadha, that we are serving Krishna in the holy name properly. So first one is regarding Lord Krishna in the holy name. What is holy name? Who is holy name? Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Lord Krishna, holy name, from holy name everything came and everything belongs to the holy name. So the holy name is very potent, and this holy name knows what my struggles are and can pick me up from this miserable state and place me in a blissful situation of loving service to Govinda. Why? Because everything that is present here is coming from the holy name, from Lord Krishna. And the very same Lord is present in the holy name. So when we are reading this from the Shastra, the potency of the holy name, we will stop looking around for people and help and start looking at the holy name. Start to depend on the holy name, lean on to the holy name, go behind the holy name. So our drishti is away from the people now and more towards Harinam, to the Krishna present in the Harinam. So this Shastric references here, and this Acharya Vakya is supposed to bring that kind of understanding and change within us. To stop looking at the people for help and to look up to the holy name, to depend on the holy name. How powerful the holy name is, and how serving the holy name can solve all my material and spiritual needs. Like that. So I will quote the Shastra here, and I will simply read the Acharya Vakya and see if you are feeling any close to the holy name. Please see what you feel in regards to the Bhagavad Tattva. What is your understanding and mood and opinion about the holy name that we are going to chant. Please say. So that's from Bhagavad Gita. And Lord Krishna, holy name says, Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Mam eva ye prapatyante maya ye tantaritite. It is almost impossible for you to get out of the miseries that you are in unless you take shelter of me. Prapatyante. And what does that mean, taking shelter of me? Fully being present with the holy name, with full faith, with each mantra, that holy name will give me all the help I need. Yeah? Then we don't have to worry about the miseries that we have. They will dissipate. And Lord Krishna, holy name, Harinam is saying, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Whoever is not thinking about anything else but me, ye jana paryupasate, and worship me with that one-pointed attention. Chant my name with that one-pointed attention. Give their mind and heart to me in faith. Then, tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. I will provide whatever they lack. I will preserve whatever they have. What other assurance do we need? Lord Krishna is saying this himself. Nama Chintamani, Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. This Nama, Harinama, is none other than Krishna. So Harinama is saying this to us. That's from Shastra. And this is from Acharyas. Devotees who are desirous of ascending the terrace of Prema should remember a few points even before entering the field of Nam Bhajan. This is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Firstly, they should know for certain that the form of Krishna, the form of Krishna's name, the form of service to Krishna, and the form of Krishna's servants are eternally free and are eternally spiritual. So this is about the holy name and the Guru also. Okay. And this is about Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. But so you might have jotted down at least a word or two by this time. This is about Bhagavad Tattva. Whatever has touched your heart that can change our attitude towards the holy name, Harinam, that we are chanting, please jot down. This is on Bhagavad Tattva. We will go to the other offense that is relevant to Bhagavad Tattva. So all your realizations and thoughts are in one place. Yeah. This is the other aparadha. We may think, okay, I am chanting, I'm doing my 16 rounds, but I don't know how this is going to help me. I'm just chanting because I'm chanting, okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's what we might be doing. But the Japa, the Harinam that is given to us is Chintamani. And who is saying that? Padma Purana. So what is Padma Purana saying? Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Purna Shuddho, Nitya Mukto, Abhinatva, Nama, Namino. These words should ring in our ears and mind and our heart whenever we chant the Japa. This Harinam is none other than Lord Krishna himself, who is Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. That means the holy name that we are chanting is fully conscious. As we are conscious, holy name is also conscious. So Lord Krishna is in front of us, right with us. And he is with us, looking at us, and he is hearing our chanting. That is Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. That is what Padma Purana is saying. So the Harinam is nothing less than the Rupa, Guna, and Leela of Lord Krishna. And it is Purna Shuddha. Shuddha Sattva, no tinge of modes, eternally liberated. So that very same Lord that is present in Goloka is sitting here in the Harinam. and is fully conscious and is with me now and is seeing me and is hearing me. Am I imagining? No, not really. Is this mental speculation? Not really. This is what Padma Purana is saying. And are we really exaggerating? Then for that, the answer is Srila Bhaktivinoda Vedanta is saying, Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda exaggerations exaggerate their results. But glories of holy name are not exaggerations. If Lord Krishna, who is Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, is not present in the Harinam, why would Srila Rupa Goswami faint just with the name Krishna? Yeah. So we want these words of the Shastra and the words of the Acharyas ring in our ears and occupy our mind and heart. Not our mental talk, mental chat, which is a product of our limited experience, contaminated feelings. That cassette has to go out of us. This cassette, this CD of the Shastra and Acharya should be played within us, not our mental talk and mental understanding. Yeah, that's about Bhagavad Tattva. That's the Harinam. And not to give mundane interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. What is the potency of the Harinam that is given to us and that we are chanting? This is what Srila Bhaktivinoda was saying. The holy name of Krishna is transcendentally blissful. Mundane interpretations, whatever mind interpretation that our mind gives, and whatever we hear from outside the parampara, they are all mundane interpretations. But these are the words of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Please hear. Holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful, and it bestows all spiritual benedictions. And please note, even the feelings of Sharanagati, the transcendental feelings of Sharanagati, which we don't have now, which I don't have now, I totally acknowledge. But the holy name can give us. The holy name has the potency to take me through all the doors of Sri Sikshashtakam. It has the potency to implant all the feelings of Sharanagati within me. So that is the potency and greatness of the holy name. I don't want to give some mental interpretations and put a block to the mercy that is flowing from the holy name and the mercy that is given by the Shastra and Acharya. I don't want to put my mental blocks there. So all this is a possibility because holy name is merciful. Holy name is potent. All I have to do is not put any mental blocks, not do any aparadhas. Okay. So holy name is not a material name under any condition, and it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. These are the words of Acharya. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by the material qualities, there is no question of its being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual and is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because Mayavadis think that Krishna's name is material, but the Vaishnavas see that Krishna is present in the Krishna's name. And please see here, Krishna's name is not mere combination or utterance, and appearance is not identity. The fire and the glowworm, though similar in appearance, are not identical. But the minutest spark of fire, set consciously or unconsciously, seriously or playfully, will instantly burn an inflammable thing. Whereas 1,000 glowworms will not be able to do that even in 1,000 years. The last statement will say it all. Krishna's name is identical with Krishna himself and pregnant with all the properties and attributes of Krishna. This is why we are saying Harinam that is given to us is nothing less than Rupa Guna Leela. See what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Acharya is saying here. Krishna's name is identical with Krishna himself and pregnant with all the properties and attributes of Krishna. What are the properties and attributes that are present in the holy name? The Rupa, Guna, Leela, right? And Krishna Prema brought by Gauranga. So when we are saying these words, it is because these acharyas have said so. We are just repeating and reinforcing those words of acharyas. Okay. Now, how do I put my prayer? Yeah. How can I respect Krishna in the Harinam? Krishna, my mind and intelligence are too small and too conditioned to give any interpretation to your holy name. In my own best interest, I submit to the Vaishnava Sadhu and Shastra. I just take that as it is, with all simplicity, with no twisting and turning, with my mental speculation, and simply serve your holy name as your deity with all attention and respect. So this is the feeling that needs to be invoked. This is why the Shastra is saying what it is saying. Padma Purana is saying Krishna is present in the holy name. Acharya is saying the Nama has Rupa, Guna, Leela also with this. Okay, Shastra is saying that. Acharya is saying that. But how can I implement that? How can I bring it in the action? So I can start seeing some changes. And this is why we are doing the prayers in between. These are the Shastra and Acharya's words in our own words and feelings. So our Harinam can go on properly. So you will see the prayer for each of these offenses of the holy name and how to avoid it. So each prayer is again based on the Tattva and Acharya Vakya and Shastra. So that should serve the purpose of taking away the blocks that we have. And if you are able to come up with your own prayer that touches you more based on the Shastra and Acharya, please do so. Okay, that's about Bhagavad Tattva. And this is also about Bhagavad Tattva. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities. This is not a ritual. This is not a ritual. Okay. What is Shastra saying again? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Lord Krishna is the enjoyer and he is sarvaloka maheshwaram. He is the proprietor. Yeah. And Acharyas are saying, Srila Narottama said, Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. The Harinam that is given to us is a piece of spiritual realm that is right with us. In the spiritual realm is present Govinda, Rupa, Guna, Leela, and the devotees of Lord Krishna. And the love that prevails in Vraja. Everything is present in the Harinam. That is Golokera Premadana. And that is the Harinam that Gauranga gave us. We do not want to see our Harinam anything less than this. Because Acharyas have said so. Harinam is that. And I pray that I simply walk in the footsteps of these Acharyas, follow their instructions. So whatever realization that they're trying to implant within our heart can be done. I don't want to place any mental blocks. Yeah. So as Krishna and his name are identical, Krishna has descended to the earth as Nama. So Krishna Nama is the first introduction to Krishna. With determination to reach Krishna, Jivas must first accept the name of Krishna. This is, again, all the references are given at the end of the book, either by Bhakti Vinoda or Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. So our take home from this is the Harinam that we are given, the Japa that we are doing is no less than Golokera Premadana. And what is present in Goloka? Nama Rupa Guna Leela of Govinda with his devotees and the love that prevails for him is all present in the Harinam. Yeah. And what kind of attention are we giving to that transcendental piece of transcendence that is present with us? Am I just doing it as a checklist, as a ritual? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Done and done. First round, second round, third round, 16th round. That is to-do checklist. If I am treating like that, then in the light of what acharyas are saying, how should I change my perception towards the Harinam? I am not doing a favor to Harinam. I am not doing a favor to my Gurudev by chanting 16 rounds. Harinam is doing a favor to me. Krishna is doing a favor to me. He is coming to me and he is giving his time to me for 2 hours. He is giving me the appointment. I am not giving him the time. He is giving me the time. So that should be our change in the perception. It's not a ritual anymore, and it is not a favor that I am doing to Krishna or Guru, but a favor is being given to me by Guru and Krishna. And this is a very important sacred appointment with Krishna in the holy name. So I want to be present here. That should be the mode that should be invoking. And that is how we counteract this, the 8th offense. Unless our mood and perception to the Harinam and Sri Guru is changing, our offenses will not go away. That's why we are taking each point, each offense, aparadha, and looking at it in light of Shastra and Acharyas, and trying to understand and inculcate within us to bring a change in our perception and our mood towards the Harinam. So these aparadhas are not committed. So we have to voluntarily do it initially until it becomes our very nature. Yeah? So this Japa time is not a mechanical ritual. Harinam, Lord Krishna, have heard my prayers, and he came down from the spiritual abode to rescue me. So Harinam, Krishna, Govinda, you are giving me your time to me so I can receive you. I can serve you properly. And I want to do it with all my attention and my heart. When our mood changes to that, then we are overcoming this aparadha to the Bhagavad Tattva. Yeah. So that's about Bhagavad Tattva. And we will go through the Guru Tattva also. And I guess for the rest of the aparadhas, I'll let you read. Since now we know how to use this book, rest of the aparadhas are pretty much understandable and easy, but this Bhagavad Tattva and Guru Tattva are pretty heavy. Guru is heavy and they are important tattvas. So coming to the Guru Tattva, we will wind down after this Guru Tattva. We'll just summarize the whole thing and wind down here. This Guru Tattva is our qualifying agent. Let's see what the Acharyas are saying about Guru. That will explain. Saints and sadhus' quality is that they are completely surrendered to Krishna. He alone can chant the holy name pure. Remember, Srila Narottam Das Thakura says, Tumara Hrudaya Sada Govinda Vishrama. So, Shri Guru, the sadhu, whoever has given me this Harinam, Govinda is residing within their heart. And with the Harinam, he has given me. Govinda is given to me. Because sadhus carry Govinda in their heart, the Shastra says, Sadhu is no less than Bhagavan. And there is a reference that comes here from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, there's one more aparadha in regards to the sadhu, so we will get there. But let's read this one. This is the Acharya Vakya. The quality of complete surrender to Lord Krishna is the hallmark of a sadhu. This is why the actual definition of sadhu is a Sharanagata Bhakta, totally dependent on Krishna. Yeah. And only he can chant Krishna's name purely. If by some good fortune one associates with a sadhu, he develops a taste for holy name and takes complete shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Without taking shelter of this sadhu, we will not even know how to chant the holy name. So when we take shelter of their instruction, then we also will develop the mood of Sharanagati, which is Swarupa Lakshana. Just by depending on Krishna or having Sharanagati of Krishna, rest of the Vaishnava qualities automatically come. This is the importance of sadhu. Krishna's potency exudes from the sadhu. This is the greatness of sadhu. And the third one is obey. Yeah, this is the one we are looking for. What is Shastra saying about sadhu? Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, Acharya mam vijaniyan navamanyeta karhichit namatya buddhya asuyeta sarvadeva mayo guruhu. Acharya mam vijaniyan. So Lord Krishna is saying, understand that the Acharya is myself. So we cannot see Krishna with our mortal eyes, but the Acharyas are sent. So Lord Krishna, to rescue us, is coming in the form of Acharya, in the form of sadhu, to give us the holy name and to explain about what the holy name is and to guide us about how to do the Harinam. All this is given by sadhus, the Acharyas. And that's what we are discussing. So all of this discussion that we are doing would not happen if the Acharyas did not give us all this information. So sadhu, that Acharya, is our rescue, our bridge to Lord Krishna. That's why Lord Krishna is saying, there is no difference between me and Acharya. Acharya mam vijaniyan. Navamanyeta karhichit. Anyeta, I'm not different from the Acharya. So this is the big place that we have to give to Sri Guru. He's not just one among many personalities. He is Lord Krishna coming in that form to rescue us. And there are more quotes about the importance of sadhu. This is a really very important topic. We don't have all the time to go through the quotes, but this is about Guru Tattva. A Vaishnava is an abode of Lord Krishna's spiritual potency. Others receive Krishna Bhakti only by his confidential association. This is so important. Please see. We are not getting Krishna Bhakti because of our sadhana, because of our efforts, because of our subordination, submissiveness, faith in the instructions of the Acharyas and implementing them. That is what is confidential association means. So Acharya Bhava and Acharya Seva gives us Krishna Bhakti. What is Acharya Bhava? Krishna Prema that they have. Acharya Seva is whatever instruction that Sri Guru has given us, that we lead our life based on. That is the Seva. Yeah. So based on that Acharya Bhava and Seva, we get the Krishna Bhakti. That is the importance of Guru Tattva. So we could do the Bhagavad Tattva and Guru Tattva. Yeah. We already discussed based on the Tattva yesterday, but now we are trying We have tried to consolidate this on the basis of Shastra and Sadhu Vakya, and we will touch base the Jiva Tattva just with this one thing. Service inside is service outside. To commit, this one, Jiva Tattva here. See, we are doing our best to do our japa better, but the whole point is we want to see whatever is happening in the japa. Our bonding with the Harinam should overflow outside the japa. It means the servitude that is present in the japa should continue outside the japa. When we are interacting with the people around, Vaishnavas around, we have to understand they are all Jiva Tattvas, and they are also part and parcel of Krishna. And Vaishnavas are beloved to the Lord. Sadhavo hrudayam mahyam, sadhunam hrudayam toaham. So Vaishnavas are in the heart of Lord Krishna. Sadhus are in full because they are totally dependent on Krishna. Nevertheless, any Vaishnava is trying to please Krishna. So Vaishnava should be our object of respect and service. So if this kind of service attitude continues outside the japa also, then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying this is very beautiful. One who chants the holy name that is inside the japa, serving the holy name inside the japa, and serves the devotees that is outside the japa. And there's one more meaning to serve the devotees, serving the Acharya Vakya of how to do the Harinam. That way we are chanting the holy name properly also. But outside the japa, serving the devotees. Continuing the service attitude inside and outside the japa, then one will surely obtain love for Lord Krishna. This is the Acharya Vakya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, service inside japa, service outside japa will give us love of Lord Krishna. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I will very quickly summarize about these aparadhas. We talked about how avoiding these aparadhas is the very first step in the guidance that is given about by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This one. Before to summarize, we have talked about in the very beginning the unique significance of the Harinam, how Sankirtana is all in all. And then we talked about how doing bhakti, at least in the mode of goodness, can help us doing japa better. And then we talked about aligning based on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's of Krishnaizing everything. And then we entered into the essence of Sri Sikshashtakam, where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is glorifying the potency of the holy name, how we can be picked up, how dirty and fallen we might be. Holy name has the capacity to pick us up and place us in the spiritual realm. That is the first verse of Sri Sikshashtakam, starting from Chetodarpana Marjanam to Sarvatma Snapanam. Then coming to the next one, we were wondering why our japa is not reflecting what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying. Then our answer was because we are committing aparadhas. And so that is from the second verse of Sri Sikshashtakam, which is the first door. According to that verse, we are committing aparadhas, and that's why we don't have anuraga to the holy name. And this is why we have spent all this time to understand what aparadhas are we committing. Aparadha means hurting Krishna in the holy name. How are we hurting? Because we are not understanding the position of Krishna and respecting him and serve him accordingly. So Bhagavad Tattva have to be understood, respected and served accordingly. And the faith in the holy name, in Bhagavan that is present in the holy name, can be revived and increased as we hear from the Shastra and from the Acharyas. That's one thing. Second thing we have discussed is holy name is so potent that everything that is material and spiritual for us will fall in place. So we don't have to look at anyone else around, surroundings. We don't have to think anything else, especially when we are doing japa, because Krishna is all in all. He is the proprietor, he is the controller. And very obviously, he can take care of all our material and spiritual things. And how does that happen? When we are with the holy name, our mind is spiritualized. Our intelligence is also spiritualized. So our perception also changes accordingly. And our strength also changes accordingly to handle anything materially. And so basically, spiritualization happens when we are with the Lord in the holy name. And that will take care of our material responsibilities, needs, and that will solve our material miseries. And also, it can take care of our spiritual progress, which means getting closer to Govinda in service with affection. So that is about Bhagavad Tattva. Main points about Bhagavad Tattva. And yeah, holy name is so potent, but is also merciful. That we have to remember. That we have somebody to lean on, somebody to go for. Somebody is always with us. That is holy name. That is Krishna. That is Lord in the heart. So we don't have to feel isolated, alone, and cry on our own. Lord is there. He has been with us. He is there, and he will be with us. So that's holy name. That's Bhagavad Tattva. And we talked about Shri Guru, how Lord Krishna is saying that there is no difference between the Acharya and himself. So the Harinam that has come from the Acharya and the instructions that are coming from the Acharya, they are all equal to coming from Krishna. So that's the position of a sadhu, Acharya, Guru Tattva. And regarding the Jiva Tattva, we have discussed that Jiva Tattva belongs to Lord Krishna. So inside Japa is service, and outside Japa, continuing the same service attitude. That will give us Krishna Prema. And that was said by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay. So this is in a nutshell, trying to cover all this. And I will, this is already posted in the WhatsApp group. Now you may please go over this. The rest of the aparadhas that we couldn't complete, but they can be easily understood. And please note, for each aparadha, I will let you give a little thought about the prayer that is given there, which is based on the Shastra and the Acharya Vakya. And if you have to come up with your own prayer, so the block can go out, please do so. And that would be in your Japa journal. And the whole point of doing this is, next time we are doing Japa, tomorrow when we are doing Japa, there should be some improvement. And only when we are introspecting and making efforts like this, sincerely, then the mercy flows, in the sense the change will happen. Yeah. So that's why we are doing these sessions. This is actually naturally taking us to Nam Namakari. But I will pause here. Maybe in the next session, we can do both of them, the first door and second door. Nam Namakari and Trinada Pisunichena. Because the reason is, as we have just discussed, just by preventing these aparadhas, taking away these blocks, and when we continuously put our sincere efforts in doing so, we get very close to the first and second door of Sri Sikshashtakam, because our software is changing inside. Antiviral phenomenon is happening inside, So the doors open like that. So that way we can just do the first and second door in the next class. I'm going to pause here. Pause here with this word. Please see from Nama Bhasa. I think this is what we need to hear. We might be thinking, oh, this is all so wonderful. Then what about my japa? It might take a little time to get there. So is that okay? That is totally okay. The fact that we are logging in and hearing about these aparadhas to understand them, and we are trying to put effort to see that aparadhas don't happen, is all considered as sincere effort. All this is part of clearing phase of Nama Bhasa. That is already happening. We just have to keep doing what we are doing. Try to get the guidance from the Shastra and Acharya and do our best sincerely, practically in our efforts. And we should just continue the same thing. Slowly the clearing phase will pass away and we will get close to a little more attentive chanting. Please hear this from the words of Acharya, and that's how we can pause the session here. So Nama Bhasa, clearing phase. As long as the jiva is not firmly established in the knowledge of Sambandha, we have already discussed about this Sambandha. You know how Guru is giving us the Sambandha. So that part is taken care of. He should pray sincerely. This is good. Okay, the third point. Neophyte devotee can chant Nama Bhasa, the clearing stage. Madhyama is worth chanting the pure name. Please see, we have a hope here. It doesn't take too long to get to Madhyama Adhikari if we are having the Sangha of pure devotees. And we are already getting the Sangha from the Acharyas. And we are combining it with our sincere efforts. So please do not block the doors. Madhyama Adhikari is worth chanting the pure name. We want to have that hope. And of course, Uttama Adhikari cannot be without chanting the pure name. See, Nama Bhasa is a passing phase as the devotee begins to learn about the Nama Paradas and sincerely tries to avoid them. Over a period of time, by constantly and sincerely chanting with repentance, faith and determination, trying to avoid aparadas, then the clouds and mist obstructing the rays of love of Godhead are dissipated, indicating the start of Shuddha Nama. This is what we want to look for in our bhajan. So first, second and third stage of Srila Bhaktivinoda's guidance will take us to the next stage of fourth and fifth after that Nama Bhasa stage. So we are heading that way under the guidance of Acharyas and Sadhus, Shastra. I will pause here. Thank you all so very much. So very much. This Kartik, this Sri Sikshashtaka, this Harinam, which is so crucial for us that we do every day. We have this opportunity to hear from the Acharya and Sadhu, Acharyas and Shastra, so we can do the Harinam better. Get through this clearing phase of Nama Bhasa and look for Shuddha Nam with the mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga. I will pause here. I really want to hear something from you all, please. I've been wanting to hear from you all since the start of the sessions, but because of the lack of the time, we couldn't take it. I want to stay here and hear from you, please. And if somebody needs to go for their services, yes, you may. Please feel free to do so. But I will be here. You please go on.